Hello, everyone. This is It's Mental Podcast. We are a podcast to smash the shame of mental illness by telling jokes and being vulnerable. Today, we have a special guest, Tyrone. Dun, 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 dun. Tyrone, can you introduce yourself a bit?
My name's Tyrone. I go by Tyrone Stallone, the stage name. I do stand-up comedy, improv comedy, whatever. I do whatever I can to make money.
So that's funny.
Yeah.
So are you a full-time comedian?
I was, whatever that means. I was doing comedy a lot. And I was, I'm here on a comedy visa.
Oh.
It says like comicer on my visa. So,
So
yes, I'm a full-time comedian. Yes.
Until Corona.
Yeah. Until Corona. Now I'm just a full-time German student.
Yeah, student.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
German, Deutsch.
Oh, okay.
Learning Deutsch.
Okay.
So I can make real money. Because then the more money I have, the less mental illness I experience.
If you are an audience by watching this show, you'll know every time I have a person over, my dogs are fighting like crazy. They really want attention. So I give them a shout out. This is my new dog, Shifu. He's an adopted dog. And this is my dog, Panda. He's a privileged dog. Okay, now they had the spotlight. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Okay, good. Look at that. All right.
Yeah. So, what's your relationship with mental illness?
My relationship with mental illness?
Your love.
We broke up. Me and mental illness, we broke up. We were seeing each other. And then I was like, you know what? You too much drama, mental illness. And then I dumped her. Dumped them, they. Mental illness is a non-binary. No, I mean, where do I start, man? I came from an abusive home. I've had relatives who committed suicide. I spent time in group homes. As a kid, I was in a mental institution for a while. You know what I mean? Like depression, obsessive, compulsive disorder, like all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? I had a rough life, so mental illness, it's always been there. You know what I mean? So it's a relationship. No matter how hard I try, I just can't let you go, mental illness. My one true love, always there for me, always will be.
So for me, childhood also played a large role for my mental illness.
Yeah.
But from when you realize there's such a thing like depression, anxiety, or whatever, from which age you realize you have it?
That I have it? Shit, there's dogs up in the face. Early. I mean, I think my first and like my real, only real, wholehearted, I'm gonna fucking do it. And I did it. Suicide attempt. I was 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But looking back, I was depressed for years, before that. You know what I mean? Maybe since, since I was a kid. You know what I mean? There was always some darkness, always something happening. Oh, look at the dog. So compassionate. Give it to me. Give it to me, black man. It's a Berlin dog.
He's a shelter dog. He just wants love from
Yeah, I understand. But I like dogs, but I'm not gonna make out with you on camera. But yeah, that's what happened, man. You know what I mean? So I was at a young age, and I grew up. I spent a lot of time in group homes. That's where they put kids who, their parents aren't fit. They can't live with their parents for whatever reason. So I was there. Motherfucker, you just bit me. And so, I was there. All right. And so I was in there, and I was around people who were straight up fucking crazy. But I noticed that once I was taken out of the environment that I was in, my condition improved. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was so much some people are born with a chemical imbalance in their brain, or you know, through their experiences or whatever, maybe you got beat or, you know, all kinds of shit that your brain changes. But I know it's like once, you know, all that shit happened, I was taken out of my house and I was around different people, different shit. Even though it wasn't a cakewalk and it wasn't like perfect, it was still better than being at home. You know what I mean? So when that happened, my condition improved like immensely.
Have you ever tried medication?
Yeah, I took fucking Prozac before, imipramine, Thorazine, and some shit for fucking like a compulsive disorder. I forgot what the fuck it was. You know what I mean? That shit was bizarre, man. It made me gain like all kinds of weight. I had this big old ass and like a stomach and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was way out, eating, slept like a fucking baby though. But you know, the medication, I don't know, I didn't really like it. You know what I'm saying? I ended up selling it. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. You know what I mean? You end up just like selling the fucking meds. You know, you took your meds, like, yeah, sure. You know, end up just selling them because it's fucking...
Who buys it?
Just motherfuckers, man. People just, you know, if it's a drug, people want to fucking take it. You know what I mean? You got guys that are like, okay, well, this might not get me high on my own, but if I drink with it or if I mix it with this, then I'll get fucked up. So, you know, that's just what it is.
How did you find the demand of this kind of...
You just tell motherfuckers, like, man, I'm on, you know, man, I take pills for depression. Pills, man, how much? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I supported myself. I was selling my fucking, you know, depression meds. I got a couple other friends that like were on fucking meds. I get their meds and I'd sell them, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, you know, find people. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go into details, but yeah, man, you get pills and you sell them. You know what I'm saying?
You are really a survivor and a hustler.
I guess. I mean, fuck, you have to. You know, you go to school, you don't have nice clothes or nice, you know what I mean, shoes, whatever. Then, you know, people make fun of you. People want to kick your ass just because you don't have the shoes that, you know.
So for how long you've been under medication?
Oh, I'm not on meds now. I was on meds. Shit. I mean, for like, oh God, let me think. When I was taking meds, oh, you little motherfucker, you trying to bite me. When I was on meds, I don't know. I did it when I was in the mental institution. I was like heavily medicated for about, they tried to heavily medicate me for about 4 months. I took the pills like I was supposed to for about 3 weeks, but then it was like I just couldn't think. I was always tired. And so then I just kind of like, you know, just like fake taking them, spit them out, spit them in the toilet, shit like that. And it wasn't really, you know, because like I said, like it wasn't like any kind of like mental, you know, like in my brain wasn't producing enough serotonin and shit. It was just fucking, you know.
The environment was
you're around violence. Yeah, you're just in a bad environment. Your environment is such a key, you know, like a key thing to like your well-being. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you have nothing to look forward to, you don't get any kind of reinforcement. If you know, you're always like, if you're isolated, you always feel like you're some kind of enemy or that you're, you know, or that you're different, then it's gonna affect you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, you know, you can take pills, but I think the best way is just to get out of that fucking situation. You know what I'm saying? Pills just help you deal with it. But why deal with it? Like it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if you are in an abusive relationship, no matter how many pills you take, it will not be better.
Right.
Most likely you will not be suicidal, but you need to change the environment.
Yeah, but for some people, the pills work. And if it works for you, then fucking take them. You know what I'm saying? Like I tried taking them. I did take them. I mean, fuck, if there was a pill that fucking worked, you know what I mean? And I didn't take all the pills, but they found something that actually helped me and worked. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You never had some pills help you?
Nah, because it's always a trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm not depressed, but I don't feel anything now. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, you don't get any lows, you don't have any highs either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, certain things like, you know, I'll take like herbal supplements and shit. And those will kind of help, you know what I mean?
Those are great.
Yeah. Shit like...
Bio glue are not the best.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Shit like that, you know, ginseng, a little bit of stuff. Like I noticed that kind of stuff, masa root, maca, whatever it's called. That shit's, you know.
Oh, you mean that type of herbal supplements?
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else.
Oh, okay. Oh, you talking about that? I mean, but that can help or that could not help too. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's just something, you know, take for like fun. I'm like depressed or something. Usually it's something like I need to work out or my diet shit. I didn't get enough sleep. I'm not staying hydrated. You know what I mean? I'm not resting enough. Or it's just I'm doing a lot of in it, or I'm doing too much, like, you know, as an artist, as a comedian, you're on stage and you're doing a lot of stuff. You're talking to people and you're entertaining this and that. And sometimes it just gets old. Like you just gotta just like rest. You know what I'm saying? You're doing a lot of energy, you're smiling, talking to people, and you're not always appreciated. You know what I mean? People don't understand, like, you know, it's hard. The pay is fucking shitty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one day you could, you know, make a lot of money potentially, but it's not like programming where if you're not a, you know, fucking write code, you're gonna make money no matter what. You know what I mean? This is something where, I mean, it's tough. You know what I mean? And you gotta deal with other comedians and you know, club owners, other shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking stressful.
Yeah, comedy is really not proportionally paid. That the job is so hard, but the payment is so low.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. But I mean, you can get paid doing it. You know what I mean? Shit, that's one reason why I'm learning German, because then it's easier to get paid doing it, because there's a lot of Germans in Germany. You know, there's a lot of Germans in Germany.
Really?
Yeah. And they like to they like to listen to comedy in German. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard there are a few Netflix special in German.
Yeah.
And they say the quality is
That's what they say. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You put the subtitles on, but that's not the same. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you got to be like a native speaker and shit. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things, man. Like, you can get paid doing comedy, then it's easier. But even for the amount of work that you do, that's what gets you fucking depressed. When you get like, oh man, I made this much money. And then you think about like all the hours you spent like perfecting the bits and promoting and getting up off your ass and fucking traveling and doing all this and that. If you start thinking about the amount of hours you put in versus the money that you got back, then it's then it can be very depressing. Make you very, very sad.
But do you still love comedy?
Yeah, of course.
How did you start to do comedy?
I started, let's see. Well, my dad, he did comedy. Like he was like just an open micer or whatever. And he would always listen to it, always do shit. And like he liked to drink. And then he would just get drunk sometimes and just have me tell him a joke, you know, make me laugh. And then it was like, you know, tell some stupid joke. And he would just give you like the most harsh notes, or he'd smack you around a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, oh, 5-year-old talking about poop jokes, so fucking original. Like he would just go off, you know what I mean? So it was like mean, but eventually like it gets you better. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're living like, you know, moving around a lot. When you're moving around a lot of shit. No. I went to therapy. I can talk about this. When I went, like you go, you know, you move around a lot. You know what I mean? You're living in like different like areas where it's like, you know, like the group homes, foster care and shit. And you're meeting new people all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I'm a little guy, you know what I mean? So always had to just be charismatic, funny, you know what I mean? Had to be able to read the crowd, do this and that. So, I mean, comedy is just a skill that I've honed for, I guess, my whole life. Not necessarily like because I wanted to, because I just fucking love comedy. It was like a survival skill.
Yeah.
And for like a long time, people always told me I should do stand-up. And I never wanted to fucking do it because it was like, why, you know what I mean? Like, why do I want to make people laugh? Like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been having to do that against my will forever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm, you know, it was just like, fuck that. But I just decided that because I'm able to do it and I might have less difficulty than some other people, then I should just do it because, you know, I'm never going to be like, you know, I used to, you know, like I used to love boxing, fighting and shit. I'd never be no world champion. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have, you know, I didn't start early enough playing music and shit. I didn't really start early enough and stuff. So I figured, fuck it. Like I could just do it. You know what I mean? And eventually I learned to like it. But initially I just did it. A friend of mine, I was working at a theater in LA, and a friend of mine offered me free comedy classes. And
you took a comedy class?
Yeah.
I thought you are natural. You don't need any course or whatever.
I mean, a comedy course, it doesn't necessarily help or not help. It just, you pay money. So then you're like committed to like doing it. Or in this case, I didn't pay. They gave me the course. They offered it to me. First they offered it to me and I said no. Then they said I could take it for free. And I said no. And then I found out the course was like $500. This is Los Angeles. You can actually like, you know, charge for that. So I said, okay. So I took the course and then I did it. And then it was like, okay, like that was kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just doing comedy for a few months. And then it was like, you know, shit happens, lost my job, lost my apartment, lost my girlfriend. And I was, you know, struggling, homeless, doing shit, going through, you know, like a crisis. And I didn't do comedy for years and years after that.
How many years was it?
I'd say about 5 or 6 years without doing any kind of comedy. And I had no intention of ever doing comedy again.
The first time you did comedy, how long did you do it in LA?
Like the first, like the first set I ever had, I think I did like five minutes.
No, I mean the first time you started in LA, how long you continued to do comedy?
I mean, I probably did maybe 1 or 2 shows a week for 6 months, 8 months.
And it didn't get you hooked?
And you gotta realize, man, like LA, like it wasn't like Berlin where you could just hop on the train for 20 minutes and get somewhere and do like a set. It's like, it's a huge place. So for me to do a show, like for me to get to the Comedy Store where I did like a lot of my stuff, like early on, that was like, you have to drive like 40 minutes, maybe like an hour and a half in traffic. Then you got to park your car, pay for parking. Then you got to go up there. You got to bring people. You got to get 2 or 3 people to like pay to go see you. You know what I mean? They got to pay for tickets. They got to pay for drinks. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you're sitting there waiting, and let's say like, you know, somebody, like one time I was at the Belly Room and I was waiting to go on stage. And then it was Faison Love, this guy that played Big Worm from like Friday, whatever. And, you know, he showed up and they immediately let him get on stage, and he did like an hour just testing out material.
Who is this person?
It's just a guy. He was on TV. He's been on movies. He's been in TV, whatever. But so now instead of me going up in 20 minutes, now I got to wait like an hour. You know what I'm saying? And so that happens in LA a lot. So you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I'm 8th on the lineup, like, you know, 5-minute sets. This is going to be fine. And then, you know, some guy from, you know, he's on TV, on cable. This dude who was in a movie like 3-4 years ago, he shows up. You know, this guy, he's connected. He's friends with the owner. And now all of a sudden, instead of maybe getting out of there by 10 p.m., you're out of there at 1 a.m.
So audience, if you want to start comedy and you live in LA, feel free to move to Berlin. Well, it's easier here.
It is easier. You know what I mean? It's easier. I mean, I was poor. You know what I mean? I was very poor. So I couldn't afford to live like close to the Comedy Store. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't always afford like to, you know, I sometimes didn't even have I wanted to go perform. I might have got booked for a show, but I couldn't afford to drive there because, you know what I mean? I didn't have the gas money. You know what I'm saying? You had to pay and do this and that. Like LA is very expensive. It's very hard to live there. And so, you know, a lot of people who were doing it, I mean, hands off to them. A lot of them are fucking sacrificing a lot. But then, I mean, most people, at least when I was there, who were like, you know, pursuing acting, comedy, whatever, they were financed by, you know, parents or some kind of other entity. You know what I mean? So that's a reason why I just, like, when I stopped, then it was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a pain in the ass any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? I just stopped for like a long time.
Then how do you resume?
I was in Thailand. I was in Thailand, and I was living on this island, Koh Tao, and this guy named Phil Nickel, nicest guy, fucking best dude in the fucking world. He was there, and he was staying on the island. He was doing dive courses and stuff, and he put on a comedy show. And so I wasn't there when he put on the first one, but everyone was like, "Oh, there's this guy. He's so funny. His name's Tyrone. You got to get him on the show. Get him on the show." And people were like writing me. I was in Indonesia at the time on like a visa run. You have to leave the country and renew your visa and come back. So I left, and I was diving in Indonesia, and like, you know, people send me messages. "Oh, there's this dude here. You should do a comedy show, this and that." And, you know, this time I was like, man, fuck that. I ain't doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Some British motherfucker, I'm gonna go perform on his show. Like, fuck that. And then they set me up, actually. They had him pick me up from the fucking from the boat. So to get from the boat into like the town is like 300 baht, you know what I mean? Which is like $10, you know what I mean? 10 euros. It's nothing here, but when you're like in Thailand, 300 baht's a fucking fortune.
Yeah.
So he picked me up and talked to him, and he was just like the coolest dude, and he convinced me. So we had like a little warm-up thing where we tested out some material in front of him. He gave us a little bit of notes, and then I just fucking the next time, and then there was this I don't want to talk about, but yeah, I had a friend, a girl. And then when she found out, like, you know, that I might be doing this comedy thing, she was like, "Oh my God, you have to do it." And she was like super into it. And then I was like, okay, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So then we, so that like inspired me even more. And then, so I did the show, went really well. And he was like, "Yeah, man, if you ever come to the UK, you can come stay with me and I'll hook you up with some comedy and this and that."
Who is this?
This guy's name's Phil Nickel. Like
Phil Nickel. He asked you to go to UK.
Yeah, he's the one that put on the show and shit. And he's like a guy, like he's won the Edinburgh Festival before. He's been on TV, like all kinds of shit. Like he's like a big, you know, he's very well known in the UK comedy scene. So then I said, okay, cool. And then it was like, I was like, I'm still diving. So I went to stay in Africa, and I was there for a while, maybe like a year. And then I was like, fuck, I should just go do that like comedy thing in London before, you know, he changes his mind or some shit. So I went there, stayed for like 3 months. You know what I mean?
In London?
In London, doing comedy all the time. And then I came out here, I did 2 shows here, went back to London.
You came to Berlin, did 2 shows?
Yeah, I had a friend I went and visited, and I did a couple shows here. But then, you know, it's just hard because London it was like LA, but like the transportation was really a problem, but it was just so fucking expensive. And, you know, it's really hard to be creative when you have to worry about how you're going to eat, how you're going to afford this, how you're going to do that. You know what I mean? Like you really can't do anything out there, and like you don't know anybody. You know, you have like no like family. You know what I mean? You might have some friends out there, but they're busy. You know what I'm saying? All the time. So it's a different kind of thing. I mean, London's a fucking grind, and I don't think.
So 2 shows in Berlin. You decide to move here?
Actually, I did 2 shows in Berlin, and then I left. I went travel. It was my first time in Europe. I traveled around Europe. I left, went back to Asia, and then it was just like, you know, I should just. Like, it's like, I didn't want to go back to the United States. You know what I mean? If I stayed in Asia, it was just been, I mean, I could have stayed there. I would have just been like fighting probably. Maybe get back into diving. But then I decided like, you know, I'm going to go back to the UK. And, cause like at first it was a hard adjustment, but then by the time I stopped, by the time I left the UK, it was actually like, I had found my market. I'd found my niche. And it was like, you know what? Like I could probably make some money doing this here. But I didn't want to stay in London. So the plan was initially to move to Manchester.
Oh, okay.
I was going to move to Manchester. And then I was going to just stay there and just do comedy. And then, you know, pop up wherever I had to be. You know what I mean? Go to London for like a weekend, whatever.
So this time when you are in London doing comedy, did you start to love comedy?
I start to love it. I mean, I guess, you get around people. I think what keeps you doing comedy a lot is like you're in a city, you don't know anybody, and you're just in this group now. These are the only people that you fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like, either I walk into a comedy club or I walk into a church, you know what I'm saying? Or I fucking sign up for whatever kind of, whatever they let somebody, whatever, like Foreign Legion, whatever, you know what I mean?
Foreign Legion.
Yeah, like the fucking military. These are all institutions that kind of, you can just come in off the street and then bam, you automatically are doing something and there's people around you who are dealing with you and shit like that. You don't need any kind of qualifications really. Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. But I love it. Yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, like I don't know, like ask me shit that I fucking love. Like I fucking love diving. You know what I'm saying? I love fucking, watching movies. I love doing like other shit. You know what I mean? I love acting. You know what I mean? I hate fucking auditioning, which is why I don't really do acting. But I love acting. And doing stand-up, like, yeah, I love it. But there's other stuff that I could do. It was just something that I decided, like, you know what? Like I could do this. And I have a gift towards this, and a lot of this shit just comes natural. So I should do it. Cause it's like me not doing comedy is like, some like 7-foot tall dude who doesn't want to do basketball or play volleyball or something. It's like you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because if you are in Berlin, you should come to see Tyrone. He is amazing. Wow. He is better than at least half of Netflix people.
Oh, that's very nice to say.
If you are on Netflix, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other person.
Yeah, the ones who perform in German. That's what she's talking about. I was supposed to move to Manchester, and I came here initially to, my friend, a couple friends of mine, good friends of mine, they were getting married here. So I was going to stay here for a month, and then I was going to go to Manchester and start doing comedy out there in the UK. And something happened, my accommodation, everything in Manchester, it fell apart. And it was like, fuck, like, if I go there, I have to like just stay in a hostel and try and find a place. And I said, well, you know what, Berlin, like it was during the summertime, it was nice. There's a comedy scene. I checked out a couple of shows, and then I just went on the whatever you find, the fucking apartments, and I found a place like within days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's not in Berlin.
Yeah, it was in Adlershof. You know what I'm saying? But it was 2-minute walk from the fucking from the S-Bahn.
Where is it?
Adlershof. Adlershof. It's like it's like 3-4 stops away from Schönefeld Airport.
Is it like the village of Hitler? Adlershof.
I think where Hitler. No. Well, Hitler's actually Austrian. Hitler's Austrian, but Adlershof, it's not that bad. It doesn't have the same, places like Matzahn, Hellersdorf, maybe like Brits. Those are more like famous for being racist. You know what I mean? Lichtenberg. It's always like, don't go there. Where I was at, I would see guys at the gym with like some tattoos that looked like, like those like runes and like weird tats and shit. But I never really had a problem.
Okay.
I'm saying never really had a problem. I think.
Also because you have muscles.
Maybe. But these guys were giants. You know what I mean? Like you got these big old
your
Deutschers. Is that what it is? You can't even tell I'm wearing black, but no, man, that's yeah. But I just decided just to stay. There was comedy here. I found a place. I could afford it, and then I was just tired of moving around. You know what I mean? Just getting tired and shit. So I decided to stay and just do comedy. I've been doing comedy ever since. Yeah. You know what I mean? August 2017 or 2018. August 2017 is when I came here. I didn't get my visa till like 6 or 7 months afterwards, just because the waiting list, you know what I mean? It's hard to get in and do it here. But yeah, that was that.
Do you feel comedy helps with depression and?
Maybe for some people. I think. Look, man, if you suffer from depression, you actually have the depression, like you need therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like comedy, you have a good show, you kill it. You know what I mean? Fucking everyone liked your set. That joke worked. That's a great high. That's awesome feeling, but it's temporary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And your mental health shouldn't be predicated on the opinions or laughter of others. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, you're new in town, you're in a city, you don't know anybody, and you feel isolated, then comedy could potentially be a good way to meet people and network and form some relationships. You know what I mean? But you could also do that with poetry. You know, if you can sing or play music, don't even have to do it well, you could do that. It's just another like activity. Like I really don't think that, you know, if comedy is your sole source of mental health therapy, then you need to find a therapist. That's not good.
You talk about a therapist. Have you been through psychotherapy?
Yeah. Shit, off and on my whole life. I mean, fucking A. Like I had a therapist I was seeing here. And then coronavirus kind of tore that. I was only seeing her like once a month. It was like a free thing, you know? And I was like, you know, like once a month, is it possible to get it more? Like, you know, I was like, should I go more frequently? And she was like, well, you know what? Honestly, like I'm seeing a lot of people and you're one of the least fucked up. So once a month is fine for you. I mean, that's what she said. I was like, okay.
She said exactly what? Least fucked up.
Yeah, she was like, you're one of like the least crazy. I mean, she was like kind of, you know, she said it with a smile, but I got what she was saying. Like, I'm not, you know, sitting there because people, you know, you got people that have been through a lot of shit and they never faced it and they never did anything. But I mean, I had therapy before and I mean, I've had breakthroughs, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to find a good therapist because a lot of it is, you know, if you find someone with the same background as you, you know what I mean? You might need a woman, you might need a black, you might need an African American, you might need a motherfucker from, you know what I mean, China, wherever the fuck you're from or whatever kind of background you have, you need someone who can understand you.
Yeah.
And just because you might have had a couple therapists and they were shitty, that just means you had shitty therapists. You know what I mean? If I go downstairs and have a doner kebab and then the next day I got fucking diarrhea, I'm not going to stop eating doner kebabs. I'm going to stop eating downstairs. And I'm gonna find a place, you know, do some research and find something that actually works for me. But I think in a place like Berlin, where people aren't necessarily friendly, it's cold, and you know, maybe you have like a language barrier you have to overcome. Comedy or just some kind of like, you know, performing art can be a good way for you to break out of your shell and maybe not being isolated, because being isolated is what causes depression. You know what I'm saying? I think this city kind of, I mean, not even on purpose, but like the environment, the way that it looks, the weather, like that can like breed depression. And honestly, if I wasn't doing comedy here, if I wasn't able to do comedy here, I wouldn't live here. You know what I mean? I would leave, I would go someplace warm and sunny, you know, like it's a huge switch. I lived in Thailand, you know what I mean? Like for months and months and months, you know what I mean? Like off and on, like I stayed for a long, long time. And you go from a place where everyone smiles and says hello, you know what I mean? And like making friends is like that. And then you come to Berlin and it's like people, they just don't have time for that shit, you know what I mean? Or it's the same thing. Like you're happy, you're smiling, you're friendly. And then for a couple of weeks, not enough people like reciprocate. And then you just shut down and go in your little shell. There's all these people who shut down their little shell because they're so scared because I smiled and the big mean German didn't smile back and now I'm sad. Like it is, you know, what it is, but definitely I feel like if you are a mentally healthy person and it's not, I mean, you're not just going to get it. Like I had to learn how to do this and practice it, but you have to synthesize your own happiness. You know what I mean? Like really like doing, you know, do comedy because you enjoy it. Do it because, you know, you like the challenge or because, you know, one day you want to be Kevin Hart or whatever the fuck. But don't do it for mental health because that's just bad. I mean, you're hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like people need to like dispel that fucking myth. You do comedy and people laugh, your problems aren't going away. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like, you know, I eat food, but, you know, I'm still hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get hungry again. You have to fucking work on, maybe that's a bad analogy, but I'm saying, like, your depression isn't going to get cured through fucking laughter. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, then, you know, you wouldn't have so many comedians. I mean, shit, my dad was a comedian. He killed himself. You know what I'm saying? like I know this from a fact. Like, you know, I'm not you little bitches waiting for fuck. You know, I just want some attention. Like, no, motherfuckers in my family actually kill themselves, and I can tell you, like, they're funny as fuck, talented as fuck. You know what I mean? Not bad looking, very very smart and everything, but they didn't get help. You know what I'm saying? And talking to strangers isn't like talking to a trained professional that you actually can connect with. Because like, I can say I've had breakthroughs. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Can you make an example?
Yeah, sure. I was living in LA and, you know, it was just a hard place, man. So basically, so I was living in this apartment in this building, and I talk about it in one of my jokes, but not about this situation. But there were all these kids there, and you know, when I first met them, they're like 8 years old, 9 years old, and you know, I'm like I'm not quite an adult like their parents, but then I'm not a kid like them. Yeah. So I was like the cool kids. So you know, these young kids that come around asking for advice. You know, they need money. I pay them to wash my car. You know.
How old were you?
Oh man, like 22, 23, something like that. You know what I mean? But so I just had these things, you know, these kids around. So, you know, and then over the years, you know, go to the store, help them pick out a computer. Their mom, they might not know about computers and shit, you know, help them get set up, help them get on the internet, stuff like that. So I was friends with a lot of these kids. And then, I mean, it's America, right? So a few years later, they're turning 13, 14. Now this kid that I like watched grow up for like years, you know, he just got murdered. You know, he joined the gang, he got murdered. You know what I mean? This kid, he goes to jail. You know, this girl, you know what I'm saying? She's like a regular girl, and then something happened, and now she's just, you know, sexually promiscuous now in a way where it's like, I know something happened to her to make her this kind of thing. So I'm going through that. And then it's like, you know, hard to get a job, hard to make ends meet. My grandmother's an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Women in and out my life, but nothing's really working. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody wanted to fuck, but nobody wanted to be with me in a relationship. As weird as that was, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what was going on. So I had a lot of bad things happening in my life. And then I developed, I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Oh. So that's just like, you know what that is? IBS, basically, it's like you just have like a weak stomach. So you're just shitting a lot. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? You're taking like little tiny shits like all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you're like
that sounds like me.
Yeah. You just always just like nerves, like these little tiny shits. And it's like a little water with like little like shit nuggets in it. It's just this weird thing. And so I had that. And it was bad. And I took some medicine for it, Prilosec. And Prilosec, you know, if you ever get a chance, try it. It gave me some fucking awesome dreams, but they were fucking insane dreams. So, you know, I was getting chased. Like I was in a fucking car, and I was in a car chase with fucking Jupiter. Like the planet Jupiter was fucking chasing me, and I was driving away from like Jupiter, and it was like spinning, running after me and making faces and flipping me off and shit. Like, so a lot of dreams like that. And then I went to this doctor. It was a naturopathic doctor. So he gave me some, what's that shit? Acupuncture, you know, like a massage and stuff.
Is this one Chinese or something?
No, man. It was a black dude.
Okay, dude doing acupuncture.
Yeah. Black dude doing acupuncture. Yeah, you're like, oh, black dude doing acupuncture. Yeah, exactly.
Is that cultural appropriation?
Appropriation? Nah, I mean, he just knew acupuncture. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, you know.
I saw it.
He didn't have like an accent or like anything. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't there. I give you acupuncture. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? No. He wasn't like that, but. You know, he was wearing like regular clothes. He wasn't like a monk or anything. But yeah, and he was just talking to me. And he was just asking like the right questions and really listening. And I just like snapped and I cried so fucking hard. And it was like convulsive, like that hard. And like all this shit was like just came out. And then it was like I was just cured. You know what I mean? Like I felt so much better after that. And then, you know, he gave me like some recommendations. And I just took his advice, and it was like shit got better.
So just one session, it became better.
Yeah, I mean, it was one set. I mean, I had therapy before, but it was like this one session, And like I said, you find the right motherfucker, you find the right person. And this just happened to me. You know, some people, whatever you're going through could be different and shit. But for me, I had these problems, had these issues. And then we just talked and it like, I had this breakdown. And after that, you know, I was way, way, way better than I was before. Like my whole feeling, everything, you know, my bowel movements, like, you know, my stomach was still, because it was like the stomach acid and everything kind of fucks with, but it was like a huge improvement. It turned back to normal. And I didn't even have to take, like he gave me like some herbs to like take and shit, which kind of neutralized my stomach acid. And I had to eat like a certain amount of food, like a certain diet. So that my, you know, cause like the lining was kind of fucked up. But then once that healed, I was fine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's one of those things like, I mean, I know, sorry, Scientologists, but, you know, therapy works. And just get it. Like there shouldn't be any shame to. I don't know why people would be ashamed about it.
I think Scientologists are against
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They feel like psychiatry is like a bad thing because they got their own version of psychiatry. You know what I mean? They got their own thing that they're trying to sell. And so, you know, you go to a therapist, you know, if you're mentally healthy, you won't become a Scientologist, and that's why they're against it. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
So you also mentioned about OCD.
OCD, yeah. Well, it wasn't obsessive compulsive. It was something, he said it was an obsessive disorder. And that was another thing. I was living with this girl and like, I never used to watch the news. You know what I mean? You had to realize the news in the United States is terrifying. It's just murder, rape, murder. You know what I mean? Trump. Yeah, well, this is like even before Trump. You know what I mean? This is before I've been lived in America since Trump. You know, I lived when Obama was in office. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's always doom and gloom. And people will, like a lot of people who move to the United States from, you know, like let's say Canada, they'll say like watching the news gave them nightmares for 4 or 5 months. You know, you got serial killers, you got gangs, you got so much bad shit. So there was this girl that I lived with, and she would just watch CNN like all the time, all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And we were living together and we're spending so much time together. She would just always watch the news, always talking about the news, always talking about it. And this was like when oil prices had like spiked, and there's this thing going on called like peak oil. And it was basically saying that all the like the world's petrol supplies was going to become more and more expensive. There were going to be wars about, you know, over fuel and over gas and shit. And I just started worrying about it, and I just couldn't fucking stop worrying. You know what I mean? And like the same thing, like I went to like the LA County, basically just like the LA County Mental Hospital. You know what I mean? I went there and I talked to this guy about it. Like luckily I got in. Because a lot of people, like, you show up, you just don't get an appointment. I got an appointment, and he prescribed this medicine, which did help. You know, it helped a little bit. Like it made me fat, but I was able to sleep. But then the big thing was just, you know, got some therapy, talking to some people about my worries and my fears and shit. And then a lot of it was just getting away from that girl. Like I broke up with her and I moved out. And, you know, like I was legit homeless after I broke up with her, but I was happier, you know, sleeping on the floor, you know what I mean, in some fucking, you know, asbestos-filled office in Koreatown than I did living with her, because it was like, you know, I wouldn't say she was a bad person, but she was addicted to the news, and it was like she fed like the news. What's that other shit? Fucking, reality shows.
Late night shows?
Not even like late night shows, but like the news, like reality, like anything that was like negative, anything that, and she even said herself, like she likes to, you know, she loves celebrity gossip, all that kind of, because it makes her feel better. And so all that shit was just so negative, and it just affected me. You know what I mean? So that was a learning thing. Like anybody who's into shit like that, it was just into like negative stuff. No matter how cute they are, no matter how hot they are, just don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you absorb it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're that kind of person. Now I can watch the news, no fucking problem. It's like I never watched it, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, all this shit's going to happen and the world's going to end and all this other kind of shit. And it was like my first time dealing with it. But now it's like, you just learn not to care.
So you broke up with a girl because she watched CNN.
I mean, it wasn't that simple, you know what I mean? But I mean, that was like part of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
that was
the
like part of
headline.
it. Yeah, she was watching CNN, I mean, if she was dating Fox News, we never would have dated. If she was watching Fox News, we never would have dated. But no, I mean, she was a very unhappy person, and she wasn't satisfied with where she was in life. She had a condition called dyscalculia, which is like dyslexia with numbers, which no one really knows about, no one really does anything about. So you have a problem doing math, you have a problem doing, you're bad with like directions, you get lost easily and stuff. And it's an actual mental, like it's an actual, I guess it's a handicap from, lack of a better word.
Disability.
Yeah, it's an actual disability, it's an actual condition that I still haven't heard anybody doing it about. I know people who suffer from it. And so she couldn't get her college degree, you know what I mean? And that really fucked with her because she's living in, she's living in the hood, working a shitty ass job. And, she's like, 5 or 10 credits away from finishing university where she could get out and make way more money. She's making $10 an hour. You get, you graduate from college in America, you get out, you're making $12 an hour. So I'm saying, I mean, it's a joke, but it isn't, you know what I mean? But that was the thing that she felt really bad about herself. And so it was just, she was kind of like, I wouldn't really say it was on purpose, but her energy and everything that she did kind of made everyone else around her miserable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that, but I stayed because it was like, I didn't want to be homeless again. But it was like, fucking man, just be homeless. If you take anything from this, all right, just be fucking homeless. It's not worth it. Don't stay with somebody because you need a place to live. Yeah. Just fucking, find a place, sleep in your car. I had a car, sleeping in my car. You know what I mean? I had a job. They let me keep the keys. So I'd sleep at the office, wake up early, take a shower at the fucking gym. Like, don't be around miserable, fucking depressed, stagnant people.
Yeah, I think that's really a good point. That lots of people, it's hard to realize when I'm in it that actually I'm so not happy. It's because people around me are wrong.
Yeah,
and also with people with depression, mental illness, high chance that they are also somehow isolated.
Yeah.
So with all the few people they actually have around, if they are toxic, then it's really fucked because I don't have anyone else, but the ones I have are shit.
Yeah.
And how to escape this reality, I think it's easier to do than you would think when you are in the situation. Because sometimes with all those bad energies, just completely cut it off. You can find new support relationships faster than you think.
Yeah.
Have a clean slate.
Nah, it's yeah. I mean, that's kind of. Now I've had to do that a couple times where it's like I was just in a circle of people that these motherfuckers were just horrible. You know what I mean? Like, these are horrible, fucking just lousy people. And, you surround yourself with people like that, and people will stop fucking with you because of the people that you're around. You know what I mean? And there's people that I don't fuck with just because, like, I might like you, but your boys ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you're fucking with them, then you probably ain't shit either. I just can't pinpoint, exactly where your ain't shitness manifests itself. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a huge thing. And I know it's not always easy. You know what I mean? And sometimes you feel guilty because it might be members of your family. It might be people that you grew up with. Yeah. Or you might just feel like, oh, I don't want to be mean and this person doesn't have anybody else and I have to be there. No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? This is your life. And one of the best advice I ever had was just be selfish. You know what I mean? Don't go out and hurt people. Yeah. But this is your journey, man. You got to fucking do it. Yeah. And don't let anybody fucking hold you back. They're supposed to help you along. You know what I mean? You can help a motherfucker, but at the same time, if you tell somebody, if you give somebody some advice, some solid advice, or you make like a suggestion and they don't follow your advice, they obviously don't fucking want your help. If they keep coming back, they just want your attention, and that's a fucking drain. Get rid of those people.
Exactly. I know a person that every half a year, she will come to me, tell me she's miserable, she's depressed, she need help. And I think with my depression, I like to help people to feel that I'm empowered, I'm useful for this society. So I'm so engaged and so emotionally attached to help others. And every time this person come to me, I feel so emotionally drained, and I really, really want to help her. And I tried all I can, and I tell her all I know, and make the action plans for her. Then after a few weeks, she'll come back to me saying she doesn't have an issue. And the situation become magically better even she did nothing. And I try to persuade her, no, your environment is toxic, or please make change. And she start to say, you don't know about me. You don't know about my situation. Please don't make decision for me. And this happened like 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Then at one time I realized, fuck you, like, fuck you. I don't want to talk with you ever again. Fuck you. All you want to do is to fuck me up.
Hey, yeah.
Like, it's your journey. You need to help yourself. Yeah. And it's my journey. I need to help myself. I'm not going to spend my energy to help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it is.
And also with this toxic environment, I know not everyone can afford to change their environment, but I want to say there's more possibilities than you would think. For example, if you live in a Western country, if you really have no money, have no degree or whatever, you still can move to a cheaper country, for example, Southeast Asia, teaching English.
That's right.
And you can really detach yourself from the previous environment, meet new people, learn new culture, eat good food, and see how you feel. And maybe over time, you can find your direction, or you can save some money to do education. For example, countries like Germany, education is free. So there's more ways to change your life than you would think, even if you have no money or no family support. So there's things you can do. Just really, really try.
That's true. You know, I think some people are just addicted to the drama. They love the misery. They love the fucking. And I got people in my family I stopped talking to. You know, I got people that I've known for years and years, and I don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've had stalkers. You stop fucking with people, they start stalking you, start trying to find you and shit, and fucking, oh, what the hell, whatever else. You know what I mean? That's why I'm always staying private and shit, because it's like, you just never know. You know what I mean? You empower people, you do things for them. And I mean, you know, it's like I don't know, man. People like I said, get help. I know it's not easy, but just go and get help, man. You can't just go around just draining people, taking advantage of them, of their good, kind heart things. And another thing is, you know, nothing, like fucking, don't be pitiful. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they play that card where, you know, they're like sad, or they say a lot of things because they want that kind of attention. And there's people out there who are actually going through some very horrible things. And they've never known like love in their family or through friends and shit. And they've been through a lot of bad stuff. And, you know, I think, God, where was I going with this? Okay. And they're actually going through like all these bad things. And for you to sit there and just, you know, make up this drama in your head just for attention, it's kind of making it worse for these other people who actually need help. Because then you have these experiences and, you know, I used to help people all the time, and now I'm guarded. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, if you have bad thoughts, bad feelings and shit, don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, I'm not here to help you. Everybody, if you're sad and you have these bad thoughts, feel free to talk to me. Don't talk to me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Don't. I'm done. I'm fucking retired. You know what I'm saying? I'm not qualified to talk to you. And at the same time, I done talk to motherfuckers ad nauseum, at length, and they still fuck themselves. I put my life on hold for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For like family members and like, you know what I mean? Be there every second of the day and made sure that they got up, made sure they went to work, made sure they stayed out of trouble and shit like that. You know what I mean? Grown motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Not even my kids. You know, I'm talking about cousins and shit like that. And they still fucked it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They still did what they wanted to do because that's what they wanted to do. They love the attention. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And you got to just let people, sometimes people got to learn the fucking hard way. You know what I'm saying? And you helping them out, you're just prolonging the fucking inevitable. Sometimes you got to fucking hit rock bottom for you to actually, you know, elevate.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, but we need to distinguish a bit like people who actually need help and the people who just keep complaining and do shit, do nothing and drag everyone else down. Like my advice is, if you know someone in real life, they ask for help, give them advice, but don't be emotionally attached and see if they come back to you and if has in between they made any actions to try to get themselves out of it or they are just bitching about all the time. If they bitch about all the time, fuck them.
Yeah. Give them a fucking referral. Find a good place that offers like free mental health. There's what is it? Frauenkreise Center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, I mean, it's for women, you know what I mean? But there's like guys that come in and out of there too, and it's free counseling. You know what I mean? You know about these places.
Yeah.
So when someone comes across, like, oh, I got this, I got that. You know what? Here's this.
Yes.
Talk to these motherfuckers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because these are professionals. You know what I mean? You can sit there and be like, I'm gonna help this person, but you don't know what you're doing. They're gonna end up bringing you down. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to get mentally ill than it is to stay mentally well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's important to set a boundary to say, I can help you, I can give you advice, but I need to be a bit distant because I need to protect myself. And myself is the most important thing.
Yeah, shit, man, motherfucking, look, misery spreads like COVID. You know what I'm saying?
More than COVID.
More than COVID. You gotta, you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay positive, man. You know what I mean? You get the, you know, what is it, man? You know what kills worse more than fucking cigarettes? Cigarette smoke is stress. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these motherfuckers give you secondhand stress. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm guaranteed the person stressing, they're going to outlive your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more stressful to be around stressful people than actually be stressed yourself. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause at least if I'm stressed out, then there's moves I can make to end this stress. You letting another motherfucker stress you out, there's only one thing you can do to get away from that shit, and that's to fucking leave that person in the dust, man. Change your number, block them on all the social media, tell them, fuck no, move out of town, do whatever you got to do. And I've done it, and it works, and it helps.
And another thing you can do, if they give you secondhand stress and dragging you down, you can start to try to ask them to lend money to you. Then they will never contact you again.
Never contact. Yeah, you could do that, or they give you money, and now you got this stressful person. Because I've experienced that too. You say you get a rich motherfucker who's just miserable, and they're just paying for their fucking friends. And now you're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Or the best thing is if you got two motherfuckers who are miserable, stress-filled, complaining motherfuckers, and put them together.
Matchmaker.
Match them together. You know what I'm saying? In Germany, it's called a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You get two irritating motherfuckers, bam, put them together, and then they make taxpayers. They can be miserable together. They can talk to each other. I mean, I've done that too. Like, I'm so good at getting fucking stressful. You know, it's a succubus. You heard of that term? A succubus?
No.
It's something from, I believe it's ancient Greece. But basically, it was like these demons, and they would just come and they would like suck on your life force. And they would just feed on, you know, these fucking parasites. When you get these parasites in your life, get them and have them hook up with each other. Put the parasites together and they can just feed and have these weird codependent relationships and shit. And you're out of the fucking picture. You know what I mean? That's all that you need to do, man. You don't have to sacrifice your own well-being for some other person, because 99.9% of the time, and I'm speaking from personal experience, they're not going to fucking appreciate it at all.
Exactly.
They're not going to get it. And then you're going to be in your feelings. You're going to be mad because you were expecting, you know, this fucking miracle turnaround and all, they're going to be grateful and I'm going to feel, and you're not. It's just not going to work, man. You know what I'm saying? You're playing with fire, and you can do comedy and shit and that'll give you like a short burst of like, oh, I feel better. But nah, man, fucking go and get help.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up.
All right.
So my final questions, it's not one question, it's a series of small questions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in a breakdown,
mm-hmm.
or if you wake up feeling horrible, what's your routine or best practice?
Shit. Go for a run, go work out. You know what I mean? Go for a run, go work out. Sometimes you just need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to realize like it's a natural process. No one's happy 24/7. You're not happy all the fucking time. Like sometimes you feel like shit. Sometimes you feel bad. And those are just times to like reflect, just like chill. There's nothing wrong taking a personal day, shit like that, hanging out, fucking go have a drink, go do whatever. If it continues and it's like every day, then maybe, maybe you got a problem. Maybe you need to explore other avenues. But if I wake up and I feel like shit, usually it's because my dumb ass didn't go to sleep. You know what I mean? I fucked around and ate some. I like to eat like late at night, and I'll fucking make a big old bowl of like Korean ramen. You know what I mean? That shit that's like $1.29 at the fucking store. Tastes great, but it's full of chemicals and dog shit. Like it's horrible.
You should go to Go Asia. That thing is like 69 cents.
Yeah, well, no, that's, 69 cents, but yeah, I get the good ones. You get that cheap shit. I've gotten the 69-cent ones too. You mean like the mama noodles?
No, the Korean Shin ramen.
Yeah, the Shin ramyun. Yeah, I get those, but those are like 79 cents.
Okay.
I get the Shin ramyun.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bulldog noodles.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I like oh god, yeah. The bulldog noodles and the Shin ramyun, those are definitely my favorite. You know
they
what I'm
are
saying?
amazing, and you can put vegetables in, then they are not that bad anymore.
They're still bad. It's just bad with vegetables in them. You know what I'm saying? It tastes great. It still got all the chemicals and shit. It's just now I got vegetables. So, you know what I mean? You're going to shit it out easier the next day. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like stuff that I ate, or maybe I just been, not staying hydrated, or, maybe I got a hangover from whatever, smoking too much or some shit like that. But, yeah, just get up, run, fucking... watch some movies, just take care of myself, go out to eat something nice, and just treat yourself. You know what I mean? One of the things about doing doing stand-up, it can also hurt your mental health too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times you're too hard on yourself. You're doing shows, you're setting unrealistic goals, and fucking, you got to be your own baby. You know what I mean? You're feeling bad, fucking get up, give yourself a bath, shave, work out. Eat some nice food.
Be kind to yourself.
Go for a walk, you know what I'm saying? And do some shit like that. And that's usually what makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Eat lots of vitamin C. Mm-hmm. I eat oranges like a motherfucker.
Cool. Then the next question. What's your favorite comedy special?
Favorite comedy special, like in general, or for like depression and stuff?
Preferably mental illness related.
Mental illness related. Oh, man. There was actually one that I saw. Recently, the guy, Gary Goldman, he made one called The Great Depression. Mm-hmm. And that was just him talking about his journey with depression, how he dealt with it. That's an excellent special. Like, dude's writing is fucking like incredible and shit. And there's stuff you could actually, relate to. Then there is also, Richard Pryor. I think it was Live on the Sunset Strip. It was after he set himself on fire trying to smoke some crack. And he talks about like his, like journey with mental illness and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like, those are all like really, really good to watch. If you want to see like, okay, like I'm not alone. I'm not a fucking freak. I'm not a loser. Like everybody has bad days and shit, you know what I mean? And it's just how you deal with them. It just takes practice and then it looks easy.
Okay. I think that's quite important because, for example, I'm from China. Mm-hmm. Depression is not openly talked about in China. So when I got depressed, I thought I was the only one in the world who's depressed. And that's just so overwhelming. Then I started to do comedy. I found everyone is miserable, and I was much happier.
It's in Berlin. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, in America, a lot, I think in the Black community too, people don't like to talk about depression. You know, it's getting better, but as a kid, it was always like a white person's disease. It was a white person's thing. White people, they get depressed. I ain't got time to get depressed and shit like that. And it's just, you know, in America, at least, white people are the only people who really have access to therapy and shit like that. And there's actually like therapists for them who may not, because, you know, just because someone has a degree doesn't mean that they should be talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I can have a degree and I could be a doctor in psychology and I could still be racist. You know what I'm saying? And you walk in my door talking, you know, whatever. I feel like it's feel like that. It's like, well, you know, you're subhuman. So
I have a friend who is like a mixed race. She's from US, and she told me she want to see a therapy who is a white German lady, and the white German lady told her that she is not black. Because she has light skin.
Right.
And the white German lady told my friend that she shouldn't fear racism because she's not black.
There you go. See, it's just dumb shit like that. So now everyone who's the qualifications doesn't mean that they should be talking to you.
So for audience, if you are people of color, there's a market for you to study psychology. And serve people like us.
Definitely. You know what I mean? I know there's a huge demand. I mean, like these Facebook groups where it's like, you know, for like Black people living in Berlin and shit. And there's a huge demand for like a Black therapist. You know what I'm saying? Huge. Like if you're watching this and you do therapy and you're Black, even if you're not licensed, if you got a license like in America or fucking Britain, whatever, you can make money under the table. And so there's a ton of Black folks that need your help. Like I could fucking send you, I could send you like 10 names and numbers like right now because these niggas are crazy and you need to talk to them.
Okay, my last question. What's my last question? Let me check. Okay.
So organized.
So if you have an opportunity now to talk with our audience who are potentially depressed, what do you want to say to them?
The fuck is wrong with you, crazy motherfucker? Snap out of it. What the fuck? Stop choosing to live like this. Be happy and fucking get over it. No, honestly, I would say, just kidding.
You sound like my Chinese mother.
Yeah, you being white. White.
Why are you so lazy?
So lazy. Nah, you know what?
So weak.
Yeah, you know what? It's normal to feel the way that you feel. And if you really want to change, fucking go on holiday, fucking move. Fucking start traveling, doing some shit. You only live once, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I didn't take the prescribed route that society tries to feed you. I'm still here. I'm living okay. I'm happy. You can be happy too. You don't have, you know, maybe you do, but if you don't have to be in the situation that you're in, if there's nothing holding you here except for like a job and, oh, I got a really nice apartment, but you're miserable, then fucking go. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it. And, you know, I mean, even if you're not depressed, you should talk to a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Even if you feel great, you should talk to somebody because shit can, you know, it's just good just to talk to someone and really just like reflect back and work on stuff and just do shit that you fucking love, man. You know what I mean? Berlin is a hard place to live. In a lot of ways, it's super easy and convenient and fun, but it's also, you can be very isolated and feel very lonely in this place, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's hard with COVID and shit, but you know, if you're miserable and you got the money, then fuck off, man. Go to South Africa, go to the Philippines.
And please remember, even if you don't have money, there's ways to change your life, to change your environment. Like, just have hope.
Especially if you're white, motherfucker. I mean, God damn it, you can do anything. You can go to Asia and be a fucking king. Girls will love you. People want you at their house. You know what I'm saying? You'll get hired to work for companies just because you're white. You know what I mean? I know, dude, you can go online, fucking do a search, and you can buy any kind of like fake degree that you want from actual colleges. Like, There's so many ways you can be happy. Like I've helped people do this. Like I knew like guys who were like losers, like, oh, I don't have any money, nothing else. Like here, man, get you a fake degree, get this, get that, and you're gonna fucking win. And they did it. You know, this guy's married now, beautiful wife in Thailand and shit. And you know what I mean? He did this all with my help. So yeah. But he was someone who took my advice. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. He took my advice, came to me, he had a problem. I told him what to do. He fucking did it. And now he's winning. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people took, like, I gave him advice. They didn't take it. And they're fucking losers. So if you are having depression, if you have problems, I will talk to you once. Just this one-time thing. Mention Moni's show, mention Moni Zong and say, hey, I watched you on the show. I'll talk to you once. And then I'll give you some advice. And if you don't follow it, then I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But I can help you. One time. I'll talk to you once.
So every audience who's watching this show, you get a free coupon to talk with Tyrone for free and get life advice if you show up at one of his shows.
Until March 2020.
March?
Until March 2020. Every coupon has a fucking expiration date. March 15th, 2020, limited time. You got 3 months, motherfucker.
Today is
March 2021.
Oh, March 2021. But
March 2021.
But what if Corona doesn't over until March 21 and there's no shows?
That's too bad. I mean, we'll deal with that problem as it happens. You know what I'm saying? All that what if shit. That's another thing. If you want to be mentally healthy, fuck all that what if shit.
Okay, you also can follow Tyrone's Facebook page. I'll write it below. Okay. And just record a video, send to Tyrone. He will reply to you.
Exactly. When I have time. Mm-hmm. And I probably won't send the video back. I'll just write back.
Cool. Thank you for having you. I'm very happy to have you. Yeah.
Thank me for having you.
Yeah. So this is today's experimental podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will take Tyrone's life advice and stay alive. Stay alive. Bye-bye.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.